We gather today to honor the incredible service members who rest in glory in this cemetery and burial grounds around the world and in 1,000 lonely places known only to God. But we certainly know what we owe to them. Their valor gave us the freest, greatest, and most noble republic ever to exist on the face of the earth, a republic that I am fixing after a long and hard 4 years. That was a hard 4 years we went through. Who would let that happen?
It only took the President of the United States just under 5 minutes of his Memorial Day speech to veer off into making the Day of Remembrance about feeding his ego and creating a false reality where he's competent. He tapped into his comfort zone of hate and division.
People pouring through our borders unchecked. People doing things that are indescribable and not for today to discuss. But the republic that is now doing so very well, we're doing so very well right now, considering the circumstances, and we'll do record-setting better with time. We will do better than we've ever done as a nation, better than ever before, I promise you that.
He couldn't even give a standard Memorial Day speech written by speechwriters to spoon-feed him a message of honoring fallen servicemen and women without pushing his daily propaganda of claiming successes that he's never seen. So again, it only took him 5 minutes for the audience to sit back and have the same look on their faces as Pete Hegseth. He did get back to prompter, though. You know, those things that only Barack Obama could be criticized for using. You know, and he told some personal stories of fallen soldiers until he ran into Shannon Kent.
Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Kent grew up in Pine Plains, New York, before enlisting in the Navy in 2003. And she quickly became one of the rising stars. She was an absolute winner. As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician, Shannon worked alongside elite special force units, a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
So you see, this is the problem with extreme propaganda and a deification of an idiot like Trump. He goes on all the time about how he's a stable genius, invents words like groceries and equalizing, but then embarrasses himself over cryptologic. Not because it's the easiest word in the world, but because he sells himself as a genius so that people won't notice his extreme stupidity and only his undeserved ego, which didn't take that long to become the main focus again.
Only the faintest glimpse at the infinite grace we have received from all who laid down their lives for America. Over the past 250 years, we're going to have a big, big celebration, as you know, 250 years. In some ways, I'm glad I missed that second term where it was, because I wouldn't be your president for that most important of all. In addition, we have the World Cup and we have the Olympics. Can you imagine? I missed that 4 years, and now look what I have. I have everything. Amazing the way things work out. God did that. I believe that too. God did it.
Listen, he literally thinks America is his, and that anything positive that happens here is both for him and because of him. So did God have him lose the election to make this achievement of being president during these events happen? Or did God fix those election machines and have non-citizens vote and cheat him out of the win? Is God a weak-kneed liberal?
You know, I got the World Cup and I got the Olympics. The 250 years was not mine. I'd like to take credit. But I got the Olympics, I got the World Cup when I was president. And I said, boy, it's too bad I won't be president then. And look what happened. I turned out, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great celebration. But most important of all is the 250th anniversary. That blows everything away, including the World Cup and including the Olympics, as far as I'm concerned.
Still, though, the Olympics and World Cup can't compare to the $45 million taxpayer-funded birthday celebration that he's planning to honor himself with the very thin veil of the Army's 250th anniversary. You know, it's the same energy that he gave to the West Point graduation, somehow taking credit for our never-ending multi-billion-dollar funding of the military.
And I've approved a $1 trillion investment, and that will be, again, the largest ever in the history of our country, and we are buying you new airplanes, brand new, beautiful planes, redesigned planes, brand new planes, totally stealth planes. I hope they're stealth. I don't know. That whole stealth thing, I'm sort of wondering. You mean if we shape a wing this way, they don't see it, but the other way they see it? I'm not so sure, but that's what they tell me.
He actually expects congratulations, some praise, and loyalty from the armed forces for military equipment. Everything is a transaction for power, money, and control. And if you don't participate in his hateful outlook on life, he'll just lump you in with the people that he hates the most, while using a day meant to honor those that served and died as a crutch to spread his disdain for the country. So this is the President of the United States on Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds, who allowed 21 million people to illegally enter our country, many of them being criminals and the mentally insane, through an open border that only an incompetent president would approve, and through judges who were on a mission to keep murderers, drug dealers, rapists, gang members, and released prisoners from all over the world in our country so they can rob, murder, and rape again, all protected by these USA-hating judges who suffer from an ideology that's sick and very dangerous for our country. Hopefully the United States Supreme Court and other good and compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of the monsters who want our country to go to hell. But fear not. We have made great progress over the last 4 months, and America will soon be safe and great again. Again, happy Memorial Day, and God bless America.